SeatGeek is the easiest way to find the best deals on tickets to pretty much any live event. Concerts, sports, theater, comedy, whatever you want. Download the SeatGeek app today and enter promo code SEATS to save $20 on your first purchase.
Hey everybody, it's Terez Paylor, Chief Beat Writer with the Kansas City Star, and I'm pleased to welcome the entire A-Team for an emergency Facebook Live /podcast/whatever. It's just a bonanza of Chiefs news. This is probably the only thing that could have brought the four of us together at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night in the off season. Am I right, fellas?
That's about right. Not that I don't love you.
Let's go. Sam Mellinger.
I love. What's up? I got two thumbs to the sky.
To the sky. Okay. Vahe Gregorian.
I got one eye looking out the window at the bat light you cast up in the air for us to respond to.
Hey, we lost Blair, so I'm going to dial him back in, okay? Hey, hang with us. We got to get the whole A-Team on this thing. This is big news, folks. This won't take long at all. We'd like to welcome you guys. We're just getting set up here. Thank you for joining us. A lot of stuff going on. Blair Kerkhoff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Tonight. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
Sam, you and me while we wait for Terez to
Hey now. Hey, we're back. Okay, Vahe Gregorian, say hi.
Hi, I'm here still.
And Blair Kerkhoff, say hi.
Terez, Sam, Vahe, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm sitting here with a Tank 7 and just enjoying the evening.
You know what? What a day. Lot of hey, and Sam, I didn't have to fake the juice on this one, buddy. Okay? Know what I mean, babe?
You break that story. I know what you mean, babe.
Hey, the juice is very real tonight, okay, babe?
It's gonna be all week. This is Terez's week.
You got that right.
Hey, Terez, can I ask Sam how many other Mahomes stories he still has left? In his vault?
We have so much. We give Sam some. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, I think I know that's a rhetorical question, but if I get a key piece of information that I think the three of you know exactly what I'm talking about, a key piece of evidence from somebody, then I'm going to write the dog out of at least one more idea that I've got right now.
Sam, you get so much grief for being like the Mahomes. I probably got 3 Mahomes stories in the can too, man. Like,
yes.
We just ready for the,
Terez, here's what I know. When he made that throw against the sideline in Denver, I wasn't the only one getting out of my seat acting like an idiot.
The most embarrassing moment of my professional career. That was bad. Hey, listen, I just love football, though. The throw was amazing, and now you might see that. Look, we got a great show for you guys. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna grade this deal. We're gonna go over all the pieces first of all, okay? Then we're gonna have a moment where we talk about what we can expect from Patrick Mahomes. Maybe even coming up with mock stat lines, okay? What we think he can do next year. We'll have a quick moment of Alex Smith appreciation, which he does deserve, and I want you guys to take some moment to appreciate that, okay, guys? And then we're going to have a Q&A where we take your questions. We're going to jump to the Q&A real quick, though, because somebody asked me where I'm at. I will not so happily tell you I'm at the Courtyard Marriott in Minneapolis. Not one of the finer properties I've been at. I know you guys probably think I'm at a Days Inn or something like that, but it will do right now. So thank you for joining us. Fellas, let's look at this crisply. The Chiefs, by trading Smith, clear about $15.6 million in cap space. Okay. At this moment, they were about to be $8 million in the red. So now they're about $7.5 million in the black. So that's one thing you've done. You've also cleared the way for Pat Mahomes to be your starter. Okay. And you've also done it in a timely enough fashion so that he has 2 years to start. You have 2 years, okay, to base whether or not you want to activate his 5th-year option, which will be sky high. So that was very important that you do that. So you don't give him this guaranteed money based on 1 year, okay? What you have also done is acquired a 3rd-round pick, presumably to fortify the depth on your defense. And lastly, you acquired a cornerback that privately I'm hearing other players on Washington were saying, why did we trade him? He's our best defensive player. Not lying. Dead serious. So, fellas, how are we going to grade this?
I'll go first. I am astounded that this happened. Like, I don't know, what were the Redskins, what were they bidding against? I'm trying to, pump the brakes a little bit, not be, the homer or whatever, but the Redskins, they just got fleeced. Can you imagine being a fan of that team? Oh. And you just traded for a quarterback who, at least in my opinion, I think Kirk Cousins is better than Alex Smith, but they're probably, comparable. So you get kind of the same quarterback. You give up a 3rd-round pick. You give up a really, really good player who's 22 years old on a rookie deal, and you're guaranteeing Alex Smith $71 million? What am I missing?
By the way, Washington's old general manager, Scott McCloughan, just tweeted, I would have never traded Kendall. He can play inside and outside. He's high character, young, and a football player. Well, look, anytime you can trade a guy like that, who's cheap, by the way, he makes less than $1.5 million combined the next 2 years, you got to do it,
Hey, Scott did not wait to throw that bomb either. He's been waiting on that the way he got traded.
I know. He couldn't wait. He had that one in the coffer.
Well, hey, just the latest out of Kendall Fuller himself, by the way, about an hour ago he was tweeting, man, I'm safe. I ain't get traded. And now he's got a Simpsons GIF going, me on Twitter after tweeting all that, then finding out I got traded. He's fading back into the bushes. So a little bit sloppy of the Washington organization and how it handled this.
It was definitely on Washington.
Putting an exclamation point on that.
It was definitely on Washington because that's not the way the Chiefs generally handle business. That's on them. That's something that, they should have told the guy faster. That's on them. But I will guarantee you this, he will be welcomed into Kansas City. He gives it. Let me read you guys some stats on Kendall Fuller, who was graded one of the best slot corners in football last year. 55 tackles, 4 interceptions, 10 pass breakups. Do we need to sit and reflect about how many times the slot corner got thrown at last year?
Yeah. I'm literally watching Kendall Fuller tape right now as we tape this, by the way.
You can no longer make fun of me, Sam. You got to the Kendall Fuller tape before me, buddy.
I had less to do, by the way.
He's a Baltimore resident and went to Virginia Tech, so it's probably going to be a little difficult for him to move from that area and pack up and come to this part of the country. But everything I'm seeing and hearing is, this was a guy who was a 3rd-round draft pick 2 years ago, who had a 1st-round grade, but he had a knee injury his last year at Virginia Tech. So this is a great get for the Chiefs, isn't it? I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, I thought, didn't we all think, we were talking, what are they going to get for Alex? A 2nd round, a 3rd round? They're going to get a 3rd round, and they're getting him. They're getting Fuller.
That's the thing. That's the key. You got a guy who's already a couple years in the league. This is plug and play now, okay? This is plug and play. Teams aren't just going to be able to throw at that other corner, So that's the thing, man. For them to get that, and I'd be shocked if these picks aren't spent on defense, by the way. They're old. They need to get younger on defense, okay? So this needs to keep going. You understand? I'm giving the grade an A. Blair, you're giving it an A. Vahe, you too?
Yeah.
Okay, all of us giving it.
I'm absolutely giving it an A. Hey, Terez, just from a procedural standpoint, I know you wrote this extensively in your incredible coverage.
Yeah.
But just for people that are tuning in, can you just give a quick primer or a little explainer on the deal can't be official till March 14th, but it is done. I mean, the deal is done, right?
It's agreed to. Both sides have agreed to this deal. It is done. Cannot happen until March 14th. It didn't have to happen now. I mean, it could happen in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? But it's done. It's in place. It's been broken. It's been confirmed multiple times. Got it. That's it. It's happened. All right. The interesting part about this, aside from everything, is that, hey, Patrick Mahomes is going to get a chance to start here. And I think we know firsthand how much fun he can be to watch. What is the most intriguing thing about Pat, kind of getting the reins here? I think what it tells me that they pulled the trigger on this already. What it tells me is that what we saw in Denver, Sam, and the sense we all got from Andy's reaction after the game when he was trying to keep cool but couldn't and let his body language betray him was real. We're not crazy. That dude was balling that game. And if you check out my story, which I encourage you guys to do, I talked to Aqib Talib at the Pro Bowl on Sunday, and he was like, yeah, man, he was awesome. To some degree. He's like, I'll pull up the quote here shortly and do a better Talib impression for you. But, Talib is like a real dude. Seriously, Talib is like a real dude. He doesn't just say somebody's good when they're not, okay? Seriously, he just doesn't do that. So for him to say that about Mahomes, no, it's for real, okay? Fellas, Mahomes takes. How good would he be right now? What are you interested in seeing?
Well, sorry, I can't help but go first.
we're all hyperventilating.
No, so I've been thinking about this, as you guys may know. He changes what the Chiefs are capable of. He changes how they're going to play. He changes how they're going to plan. He changes kind of everything. And there were, and look, I think I'm, a party of, one of four who agree with this, that Alex Smith took more grief than he deserved.
Absolutely.
All that stuff.
Yes.
But it's also true that 6 of their 7 losses this season, they could have avoided with a better final possession.
Right.
Now, I don't know that if Pat Mahomes was playing, would they have been able to win, 9, because they won that Denver game, would they have been able to win those 9 games from ahead with Pat, throwing the occasional interception over the middle or whatever? I don't know that. But I feel pretty confident that they could have won at least a few of those 6.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget that in that Denver game, he came out, with the win.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
The game got tied. They put him back in, and he led a game-winning field goal drive. So he's got that going for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and to your point, Terez, too, I'm looking back right now at some of the stuff we did from the Denver game, and you reminded me about what you said, Terez. And Andy, he's Mr. Close to the Vest, but he's saying stuff he would never say, like Mahomes had complete command of the offense.
Yeah.
Even when they were throwing, it was like he's not just banking on his skill that he's been blessed with. Let me just throw this in there from my perspective. I've been a little more hesitant about him for whatever reason. I don't think I saw as much of him as you guys did in the preseason, et cetera. That game just completely sold me. I mean, you couldn't watch that game and not feel like this guy's a difference maker. And look, he's going to do a thing or two. There's going to be some 1 step up, 2 step back kind of things. But I think he'll be really the guy he means to, or the guy he can be sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you guys this. There will be some rough spots with him, because there are with all young quarterbacks. There will be some goofy throws you never saw with Alex. But there will also be some throws on the plus side of that ledger that you never saw with Alex as well. And let me just read you some quotes from people I've talked to here at the Senior Bowl and Pro Bowl and Super Bowl. Aqib Talib, I think he got what it take, man. He got a super strong arm. He can make all the throws. Listen, this is good. He can make all the throws. He made great reads in our game. I know we had a simple game plan on defense, but he made great reads and took control of the game, which is just what Andy Reid said, right? Okay. I talked to Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy said, Patrick, everything I hear, he's going to be great. Oh, no. Okay, all right, I'm glad you're back. Patrick, he says, Patrick, everything I hear, he's going to be great. They love him in Kansas City. All right. And Chris Collinsworth, all he said was, I heard he's like a secret weapon. So we know that there's no shortage of, people blowing guys up and gassing guys up. But on the real, Mahomes has gotten a lot of buzz around the league. And I think from the Chiefs' point of view, can we all agree that they needed to do something like this to kind of get people back in the Chiefs' boat? Because a lot of people were very upset about the decision to retain Bob Sutton. And I will get to that here in a moment. Can you guys not let me forget that? Because we need to address that. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just chime in real quick and say, I think Sam used this term the other day, and I think I used it once before, but just they had to jolt the status quo. I mean, you had to shake it up in some measurable, substantial way, and let's go to the Bob Sutton thing in a bit, but this is that sort of thing. They plateaued.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, man.
No, all I remember is the last time we talked. Ellis Boyd, Red Redding, was narrating, and the off-season phone until some move was made, and it had been several weeks since the move had been made.
I'd like to tell you, Chiefs fans fought off the sisters. But life ain't no fairy tale. I would tell you something. This is literally Chiefs fans, crawling through the river of foulness and kind of emerging on the other side in Zihuatanejo. Mainly because the amount of tweets I got about Bob Sutton being retained was amazing. Very unhappy fans. I had people sending me emails saying, forwarding, the things they sent to the Chiefs about how they're not renewing because of this. So I have some thoughts on the Sutton thing, okay? You guys want to know why he was retained. I can tell you. But using deductive reasoning. I know Andy was not happy with the end of the season. I know this shocks a lot of you guys who thinks he's just okay losing that game. And he's not, okay? He's a pretty competitive guy. So if he kept Bob Sutton, it was probably for a reason. So I started saying, okay, I'm going to give Andy the doubt and I'm going to think about this, all right? He did this because he must have realized the defensive talent on that side of the ball was hamstrung because of the cap situation they were in. Let's think about this. Aside from Benny Logan, what fortification was done in free agency last year on defense? Anybody got somebody? Nobody. And Sam, you wrote some really good, intriguing stuff about why it was the wrong decision. And I'm not here to tell you that's wrong. I'm just trying to figure out why it happened. You hear me?
For sure.
And so my thing is, I think the Chiefs, and Andy said, I believe in Bob Sutton. I think he called the defensive game plans he did because the talent on that side of the ball wasn't where it needed to be good. Without D Ford, you can't say that Frank Zombo's an ideal match to Justin Houston on the edge, right? How many sacks did he have? It's not enough. You got to have 2. I think Andy took a stand for his guy because he believes in him, and he didn't believe that he got a fair shake with the talent he had on defense. And you can argue with that point all you want. I'm just telling you what he probably thought. And there's no other reason to keep him if you don't think he didn't have a fair shot, okay? There's no other reason, guys. Can anybody find another reason why that could be the case? I think maybe he's going after next season because now they got a second, 2/3, I think a fifth. They got picks, and now they're going to have a little bit of space to do stuff with. You saw some of the personnel at key positions. They had to bring in Darrelle Revis, okay? And then the edge rush was a problem. These guys got worn down as the season went on. There's work that needs to be done on the defensive side of the ball for Bob to, I guess, I'd assume in Andy's mind, to be given a fair shake. So just understand, you don't have to agree with that. and I'm not even sure that's 100% correct, but that is my theory, and I actually believe in that. I think that is true. I think that's what happened. And I do think this kind of thing is the kind of thing that does make people step it up, right? Alex Smith had to hear about Patrick Mahomes for 5 months, and what did he do? Okay? So
We're here.
yeah, so listen, I think that, if Bob doesn't know he's on the hot seat now, he does. Yeah, if he didn't know before, he does now. So, you guys are going to be critical of him, fans. There's a chance he reses his level a little bit, okay? So let's just see. But I think that's what happened.
Terez, do you think this means a little more sideline chat with Andy and Bob, like you were suggesting earlier? Like, hey, Bob, you think maybe you could go ahead and just dial up a little something?
Hey, you want to dial up one of those pretty blitzes, babe? Okay?
That's an extra year and everything,
I wouldn't be surprised if Andy was like, okay, Bob, here's Kendall Fuller. Here's another free agent somewhere. That's not going to be too expensive. I don't think they're going to have the money to go throwing around now, okay? I actually don't think they're going to go splurging too much now on defense. I think that they might end up carrying some of that money over to next year and really do some damage that way. Because this year with Pat starting and needing to go younger on defense and get guys experience, I think that this is a bit of a transition year. So I don't know how much sense it makes to go spend a lot of money on guys, okay? That's just another theory. But what do you guys think about my Sutton take? Are you guys okay with that if that's Andy's reasoning? Do you refute it? What do you think?
I understand it. I disagree with it.
Okay. Sam, elaborate, because you wrote some good columns about this.
Well, I just think that there are no boats without holes, and I think that I agree that they need better talent. They need better talent, whether Bob Sutton's the defensive coordinator or whether Jack Del Rio or whoever else anybody wanted. But I think you can judge him based on what he had. And as much as we can talk about Eric Berry's injury, and I'm not trying to downplay that, I literally think that Eric Berry has a chance to be in the Hall of Fame if he can stay healthy and kind of do what he does going forward. But every team has injuries, right? Like there's 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl right now that overcame a lot of injuries, and he got a full season from Justin Houston. That doesn't always happen, and I think about a team. I think about watching a team that two things from that defense this year really stick out to me in a negative way. Maybe more than that, but 2 immediately come to mind. One is how long Dan Sorensen was just exposed and put in a position to fail over and over and over again, especially against the run, but sometimes against the pass as well. That was an adjustment that took way too long. And the other thing is they desperately needed a pass rush. This is a defense that's built on getting to the quarterback, on disrupting the passer, and he did nothing. They just, we joke and like the more Terez impersonations, the better. But they had when Pro Football Focus has the Chiefs I'm going to get them mixed up, but one was like the lowest in the NFL, and one was like 4th lowest, something like that in the NFL in stunts and blitzes. Yeah, this was a team in desperate need of manufacturing a pass rush, and Bob Sutton wasn't even trying. Yeah. And I think that, as much as Dan Sorensen got exposed in some ways against the run and as a tackler and all that, I think he's a pretty good blitzer, actually. Like, I think he can do that. Timing, he has some smarts. Yeah. Derek Johnson, same deal. And they just weren't doing it. They've got athletic guys on the front, Chris Jones, Alan Bailey. Like, why not run some stunts with these guys? Like, and, they just weren't doing it. There was just no adjustment. And look, like, I'm not here to tell you, like, Bob Sutton, I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good man. And it's easy to forget, but the 4 years before 2017, they had some pretty good defenses. So I'm not here to tell you that, like, if Bob Sutton can be a good he can be the coordinator of a good defense if everything goes according to plan. But, you can't just be a golfer where you can hit it down the fairway when there's no wind and it's 72 degrees or the wind's blowing against your slice or whatever. Like, you've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to do some other things. And to me, I just thought he got exposed in 2017. And that, to me, is a reason to move on, not a reason to have faith because of what happened before last year.
Let me also say this. I did hear rumblings today that and I didn't have it good enough to report, but like I'd heard stuff about our old friend John Dorsey being interested in Alex Smith, and lo and behold, a report came out of Cleveland that Alex turned him down. It fell apart because he didn't want the extension with Cleveland, and I don't blame him.
No, John to get that thing together.
Snarky comment to somebody today. And Terez, wasn't Alex Smith making the rounds?
He was
on all the national talk shows today.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, he sure was. Yep.
Yeah. What's your interpretation of that? What is that about?
Oh, Alex knew. I thought he was acting a little interesting when I talked to him down at the Pro Bowl. I don't know. I know the guy a little bit now. It's been 5 years. He didn't say anything that that could have led you to believe that he was leaving or that he knew. But like, all you gotta do is put the pieces together and you can tell. And Andy didn't tell him he was coming back. Alex gave a lot of very vague answers. He knew he wanted to come back. It wasn't his choice. It is what it is. I actually am kind of happy for him though. I'm glad he's not going to Cleveland, a wasteland in a way. At least Washington, the way they handle business there, I don't know, but at least they're competitive. And Jay Gruden is a good coach. So as far as situations go, it could certainly be worse. And he is getting paid a pretty penny. Okay.
Oh my God! Yeah, we can make Browns jokes, but I'd turn down an extension anywhere other than the place that was giving me $71 million.
I mean,
that is incredible.
That's an incredible amount of money, fellas. So no, he's doing just fine, and I think he'll be okay. While we're on Alex, can we talk about him? Just kind of appreciate what he did here.
Yeah.
50-26 as a starter, right, Vahe? Team was 2-14 before he got here. Go ahead, Vahe.
Well, no, and as you already pointed out, Terez, this year was kind of the anvil over his head of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it was the old, pressure creates diamonds thing. For whatever reason, I mean, some people thought he was pushed by the idea of Mahomes. Others thought maybe he saw stuff in Mahomes that brought it out of him. Whatever the reason, I mean, the guy is a consummate pro, and he had his greatest season with all that there. Everything on the line, he did all he could. And, I was looking this number up. The Chiefs were 25-55 in the 5 years before, and 53-27, I think it is, since Reed came. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And often the quarterback gets too much credit and too much blame, right? But I do think Alex has been kind of the face on the field for Andy Reid. And it's a much more stable franchise, right? You can say that. And one of the things I tried to write was that, I'm not sure if I made the case the way I wanted to, but that he did kind of set a foundation for Mahomes to be able to come in, and this team has gotten stronger and better, and it needs to make the next step. But one last thing I'll just say about him is, I do see him a little bit as a star-crossed figure. I mean, he could have easily gone to 2 Super Bowls with the 49ers. He did go to one, but he was on the bench after his concussion. The year before, they would have gone if not for 2 fumbled punts. That would make him look a lot different, wouldn't he? And he's been very good in the playoffs in his career. So don't tell me he can't lead you to the Super Bowl. I honestly think he could, but he's not good enough to be the guy that elevates you without everything else going well.
Yeah.
He can't be a Super Bowl quarterback with the defense that Kansas City's had in the best years that Smith had in Kansas City. You can be a Super Bowl quarterback with you can be an ordinary quarterback in a Super Bowl, but you better have an extraordinary defense. And the Chiefs didn't have that this year, and really didn't have it each of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know, what can I say? Just say, sorry, Terez, but any of us, it's hard not to remember 2012. And one of the things that I'll remember about Alex is he was, an irreplaceable, critical part of restoring credibility to this franchise. Just calmed the waters, a competent quarterback for a team that just absolutely was a mess and in desperate need for the confidence, the leadership, and all that stuff. He left the Chiefs in much better shape than he found them. I hope he's remembered very fondly.
And you know what? That's true. That's a good point. Like, as far as like a leader, as a guy goes, I don't think people understood that the amount of respect he had from his teammates. Like, to be a number one pick, to have been bad for like 5-6 years, to be called a bust, to be compared to Aaron Rodgers, like weaker guys mentally are done. Your career's over. You made a lot of money. Congratulations. You're done. Alex Smith has a tremendous amount of grit. To have Patrick Mahomes drafted and you be a lame duck quarterback and respond with the season of your career. Alex is a tough dude, man. Like, he has a lot of grit and perseverance. This guy's a good quarterback, good face of the franchise, never once embarrassed his team, handled every tough question, tried to be helpful with the media by not lying. Just trust me when I say that Washington is getting just a solid professional quarterback. Hopefully for him, their offensive line plays a little better than the Chiefs did. And if they do, he can do a lot. Okay, he's always been a guy that's needed the strong running game. If he can continue to push the ball downfield and the offensive line plays better, you know what? More power to him, man. You guys should be very thankful for everything he did here. I know there was a lot of playoff heartbreak, but at the end of the day, he made you better. You know, you came a long way since 2012, okay? All right. You fellas ready to answer some questions? Yeah, go ahead, Vahe.
One quick question, and probably we'll get a lot of questions on this, but I was just thinking, obviously, the backup quarterback isn't going to be Tyler Bray.
I don't know that. I think Bray knows the offense. They've invested a lot of time in this cat. I don't think he'll be that expensive. I don't think that when he was drafted, he wasn't drafted as somebody people thought would pick up an offense super quickly. From his point of view, I could think of way worse situations than being the backup here in an offense you've been in 5 years. If I were him, I'd try to stay. I think, I know that's not what you want, but he's not going to get a starting job somewhere, okay? His best chance is a sign here, I think. Be the number 2 quarterback. If Mahomes gets hurt, he'll have his shot, and he can either get traded or get paid that way. But his command of the offense is the most important thing, okay? And there's no question wherever he goes, his command of the offense will be best here. So I'm not sure the book's closed on him, by the way. I think they might want him back. And I think he needs to be open to coming back. And I think that might be what's best for his career, believe it or not. Or at least somewhere.
Best for him. I'm not convinced it's best for the Chiefs.
Or at least somewhere where he knows a system, like Chicago,
right.
Or you think that they need to bring in a veteran quarterback then, huh? That's interesting. I can see that. Who are you thinking?
I don't like that. I don't know. I don't have a name for you, but I just somebody who's been in the league that's seen a lot of coverages. Somebody that comes in. Look, this name is like poison in Kansas City, but sort of like how the Titans brought in Matt Castle to be, kind of a sounding board for Marcus Mariota. Just
I can see that.
Yeah, just somebody like that you're sort of hiring. For their brain, for what they do in the quarterback room with that kid. That's what I'd be looking for if I was the Chiefs. They could, find the right fit for the right money.
Yeah, I can see that.
I always get a little concerned too about first-time starting quarterbacks, and I think that the potential for injury increases with inexperienced quarterbacks, and he's going to Patrick. He's going to escape the pocket, several times just because of his inexperience, and you better have somebody. The Chiefs had a great scenario this year, right, with Alex and Mahomes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be whatever it is. It's going to be less than that next year. So I guess you got to brace yourself for that.
Couple things, man. A lot of our readers, and by the way, guys, we got a season high, maybe all-time high, 350 watching.
That's right.
A lot of people are saying Chase Daniel, and I could get on board with that. He'd be perfect. Chase Daniel, would be a free agent. He'd be perfect. Chase Daniel, no doubt he'd be perfect. But But if I were the Chiefs, I'd still look at bringing Bray back. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I think you can try to make an offer to both of them. Maybe Bray can go somewhere else and compete to be the number 2, but, still long-term, man, I have a hard time thinking there's a situation where he knows he's going to know the offense better than this one here. So we'll see. I'll do more reporting on that, but I don't think that he's ruled out a return here. How about that? All right, let's get to some questions. Jason Collinsworth, who's been one of our more avid A-Team watchers, thank you, Jason, says, does bringing in Fuller affect bringing back Marcus? No. I think Marcus will get his option. I think they will exercise that. I think the team considers what happened in December. It was a meltdown, but they still believe in the guy. And I think Marcus did a lot of things after that, from the giveaways and stuff, to kind of show he wants to be here. I think Marcus will get that option exercised, and I think there's still a lot of believers in him in the organization. I do think Fuller will step in and start.
Positions, right? Like Marcus is on the outside, and Fuller's, at least so far, right, career played mostly on the inside.
I think Fuller's going to be a starter. I think that he's going to be the starter in the base 3-4. He's good. And he
watching this tape right now.
Well, let me say this, and then I want to hear let me say this, and then I want to hear your opinions. I think he'll be starting the base and then go inside on the nickel probably, but he is good enough to play outside. He will absolutely log the second most snaps outside of Peters at corner, provided he stays healthy. He does have an injury history, and that's something you got to know. But he's cheap. You didn't invest a lot of money in this guy. So, what are you seeing on tape, Sam?
He's really good. He is tough. He competes. Terez, when you watch it, you gotta watch. Look for the interception against the Seahawks.
Yes, I heard about that. It was a Peters play, wasn't it? Didn't he make?
Yeah, it totally was. And speaking of Peters, there's I noticed some run plays where he's going in there for the strip.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding? You're lying.
No, I'm not. I've seen it a few times. Not as much as Marcus. Like, let's be real. Are you seeing that a few times? Are you saying there's going to be a time that we're going to see both these guys like moving into the strip? God,
oh my God! If these guys didn't
finger wagging,
the amount of
yes, a lot of finger wagging.
We locked down.
No, I mean he looks tough, man.
Oh my God!
He looks like he's sticking to guys. Good tackler. Like I'm falling in love with this guy.
Can you imagine the amount of trash there's going to be? No. Can you imagine the amount of trash that's going to be spoken? I will tell you this though. I kind of still wanted to see Talib. Not gonna lie, just the Talib and Pete. How much fun would that have been?
That would have been a hell of a pair.
Oh God, that would have been so fun.
Do you think it would have violated Terez? You're not one move.
It doesn't even matter. I took his chain from him. just the joy of seeing Crabtree have nowhere to go. Just between Peters and Talib, the joy, just the personal foul penalties, the unsportsmanlike conducts. It would have been amazing. But for your money's worth, though, does he have any swagger, Sam? Does he play with an edge?
I just talked about the finger wagging, and now I'm seeing an interception against the 49ers, which follows the pattern. I think he's 4 for 4 now, from what I've seen, of interceptions, and then immediately putting his hands in the air and letting his teammates pat him down. So I think Marcus is going to be all in on that. There's a lot of attitude coming from Kendall Fuller. I think
that is. He's an edge. I love it. This is a guy a lot of teams had a first-round grade on, but he had the knee injury. And I also think this is the guy that got done up by Michael Thomas in that one game, his junior year. Oh, one thing I want to mention about this guy, Kendall Fuller is 22 years old. He's been in the league 2 years. Do you guys know what this means? This means that when he's up for his next deal, he will only be 24. That's it.
He's younger than Mahomes.
He's younger than Mahomes. He's the same age, and that means that you're going to pay him on his next deal right through his prime. That's perfect. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So the ability to get this guy who, again, I'm told people in Washington, teammates were like, why did we trade him as our best defensive player?
People watching this might be interested that the first major negative play that I see is he got beat pretty cleanly and badly by Travis Kelce down the seat in that game against the Chiefs.
Okay, what was it? Was it a go ball? What was it? Was it a?
No, it was like sort of a just over the middle. It wasn't a go, but it was. Let me try and find it again. It was 32 yards, kind of over the middle. He just kind of beat him with a step to the outside and then over the middle.
Early in the game, that was the first big play for the Chiefs that night.
Yeah, minute left in the first. Minute left in the first. He just kind of takes a step to the outside and then beats him in.
Okay. Hey, I want to roll through.
Passed by Alex. The Redskins really got a good player there.
I did an interview earlier with the folks in Washington. I don't think they're too thrilled. I think they're pretty concerned about the Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins trade-off. From their point of view, though, I just don't think they were going to be able to resign Cousins. They messed around, they played around, they didn't pay him, and now he's just going to go wherever he wants now. And they needed somebody to remain relevant. I think it is what it is, man. Let's answer some questions.
Where does he end up?
There's been a lot of speculation about him. I still think Jacksonville needs to pay a guy, man. Blake Bortles not like a guy, man. And there were some other teams, but Cleveland. Then somebody, who else, guys? Help me out here. There were Buffalo, yeah.
Denver?
Yeah. Denver,
Arizona. The Giants might need a guy. There's some teams.
Yeah. We've gotten so many questions tonight, guys. I can't begin to answer them all. I'm trying. We're going to go for 15 more minutes. We're going to do a true A-Team after dark, and that's it. We thank all you guys. We're still well over 300, fellas, so know that you're putting in work for the whole team here, okay? Mark Allen says, does Darrelle Revis have a place on this team? I don't think so. I think, the option was put in there in case he really came in and balled out. I think he was better than anyone else they had. I do think if he came back, it'd be on a bit of a sweetheart deal. We'll just have to see, okay? The key for this team is getting younger.
Million, right?
Yeah. And guys, the key for this team is getting younger.
Yeah.
And letting these young guys get experience. So in 2019, I think they can make like a full-fledged run with a ton of cap space and 2 full drafts under Veach. Okay? So just hear me on this. Just understand, this doesn't mean they're going to stink next year. It means I'm not going to pick them to win the division. But I think they could win 8-9 games. But I think they're going to have to give young guys some time. I do. I think that's
going to be good enough to win this division, though.
You guys don't believe in the Chargers? I don't know. I think it'll be, the Raiders might bounce back with Gruden. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So, let's see.
I've got a question.
Okay.
What's behind the curtain behind you? What's your view like at the
Oh, you guys want to see? Oh, it's so great. A lovely, just snow in an Audi dealership, which is what you want. Yeah, the lap of luxury.
The highway.
Yeah, the highway. Yeah, it's good stuff. Here's a question from Keelan Elliott, who doesn't believe in this trade and doesn't like it. A rare dissenter. I like it. This is good. Good discussion.
Yeah, good to have some dissent.
What, in your opinion, makes Mahomes stand out against Smith and vice versa? What is your opinion on Big 12 quarterback history in the NFL? And how do you feel about QBs coming from spread offensive schemes in the NFL? Blair?
Yeah, history of Big 12 quarterbacks in the NFL, not so much. I mean, Sam Bradford might end up being, right at this point, the most successful. Vince Young, not a career. Texas Tech quarterbacks before, when Patrick Mahomes started against Denver, he became the first Texas Tech quarterback to start in NFL games. I think Stan Humphries or somebody like that. And, I mean, not in the Mike Leach, Cliff Kingsbury era had a Tech quarterback starting in an NFL game. So it's not they have a lot of stats, a lot of great numbers, a lot of Heisman trophies. The Jason Lights, the Eric Crouches, but those guys don't translate into NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Mahomes is different. I think Mahomes is different.
That's interesting. Okay. What makes him different? I think that answers the question, Blair.
Arm strength, certainly the arm strength, and what makes him different is we saw him in the preseason, and we saw him against Denver, and I think we saw enough, and I know the Chiefs saw enough to be convinced that there's something special about him, something different, and we'll see. I mean, he's got to go out there and prove it, but let's just say that becoming the most successful.
Okay, we're back. Okay, good job, Blair. I basically agree with those points. Jason Roberts says, 18, retain or drop D4. Regardless of what you think is D Ford as a player, he does have pass rush skill. The Chiefs needed that, guys. Okay. And one more thing. What do I always say, fellas? The contract year is what?
Undefeated.
Yeah, he's going to play his ass off, okay? It's 18 after dark. I'm pretty sure I can get away with that. He's playing his ass off this year, okay? Come on, guys. Was he 26? He's got one chance to make a big deal. Come on, dude. He's going to play his butt off. Now, do you want to be the one to sign him to the next deal? That's the decision you got to make. But you want to be the beneficiary of the D4 contract year. That much I can tell you.
Yeah, that is well said. That's exactly right.
Newspaper question from Chris Clatterbuck. Do you all have Alex Smith columns in draft, like celebrity obituaries, or was there a lot of scrambling tonight? Well, from my point of view, I've been scrambling anyway because I'm at the Super Bowl and I'm in my hotel room. But you fellas were living your lives. Like, tell us, Sam, what were you doing, brother?
I had literally just sat down on the couch when my phone rang, and it was our boss, Jeff Rosen. And I answered, and I was like, "Hey, man." And he says, "Are you writing?" And I was like, I was literally in my toddler's room 30 seconds ago, happy that he's asleep. What happened? Did Eric Hosmer sign somewhere? No. Terez Paylor just broke the story of the year. Alex Smith is being traded. Do you want to write? Yada, yada, yada. A half hour later, I had a call him in. I was next on the phone chain, I guess, and I got a call from Jeff saying he had talked to Sam and wondered if I might like to write too. And I thought, yeah, I'd like to write. And seemed like one of those nights, and so just kind of scramble mode. Was watching the State of the Union, wasn't getting a lot out of it, so it was time to get into gear.
I was watching the state of Trey Young go for 44 against Baylor, and switching back and forth between that and Kentucky, somehow finding a way to beat Vanderbilt in overtime, and then I saw the crawl on ESPN, and I said, well, there's a little bit of news going on in Kansas City town tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks to our gracious host.
Nah.
That's right.
Hey, you guys.
Can I let me say something real quick, Terez, there too. I've just been having a little email exchange with our friend Liz Clark at the Washington Post, and she's great. I'm not sure who all knows her on our staff, but she's really a wonderful person, a great reporter, and says that we'll really like Kendall Fuller. He's a blithe spirit, a fun guy, smart. But the thing I really wanted to say was the point that is Terez is kind of glossing over because he was already working. But hey, the Washington Post, I'm looking at this paragon of journalism, citing the Kansas City Star as first reporting this, and not to lather up too much on our own here, but Terez, man, he's just done an unbelievable job with this and everything, especially in the last 10 days. And this is it's just an incredible breakthrough story that you got.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, I was happy reading the Darren Sproles story you wrote.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for that. But one thing I can also tell you, you guys all know this because you've been in this longer than me. Hey, the one thing about journalism, you can't feel good about anything too long, okay?
Nope. Yeah.
5 minutes later, I'm finding out who the player to be determined was, okay? So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, but no, that's a big win. Getting it, like, having the first news on it's the biggest one. But like you guys know this, tomorrow something could happen and I'll be chasing. You just don't know. So I appreciate you guys, but I've been doing this long. Hey, I've been doing this for a while now. Okay, babe, I know how it goes. Know what I mean? All right. All right, listen.
I'm having a tag 14 in your honor tonight.
Okay. All right, let's run through some more before we can get out of here, okay? 5 more minutes, that's it. Joel Rain says, after all the backlash Washington got, is there any chance that they back out? No. That's horrific business. No one will ever trade with them again. Jacob Wynn says, is there a worse situation for Alex outside the money? Stuck in mediocrity with Washington. Do you guys think there's something to that? Did I give him too much credit?
I don't know. I was stuck on $71 million. I know he's doing all right. He's made $100 million in his career, but yeah, I mean that franchise has some dysfunction. And their guy finding out that he got traded from Twitter.
That's quintessential Washington.
That's not an outlier.
That's quintessential Washington.
Yeah.
Chad Stewart says, this Brett Veach guy, am I right? This is the third one that he snagged here that looks pretty good on the surface. Ragland was a steal. Very good player. Okay. Harrison Butker plucking someone off the practice squad. And this trade right here, he's got to hit on the draft picks, obviously, but as far as making something out of nothing, I mean, do we agree? Pretty strong start for Brett here.
Yes.
Pretty strong. He's been aggressive, hasn't he? And look, the Irving thing, we're going to see on that. I don't know. He needs to change his body. That might have been a miss. But, like, overall, man, it's kind of hard to nitpick much Brett's done, man. It's hard to find backup swing tackles anyway. Kind of a low-risk move. You can nitpick the Irvin thing, but no good ones are available in training camp, If he's going to be aggressive like this, I think you can feel pretty good about where this team is headed with Brett Veach in charge.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing. It takes some skill to do a trade like this. I'm sure. I've heard. You guys know how it is. A lot of you guys, all you guys were beat writers at one point. You hear stuff, but you don't know it well enough to report it. Like I heard that this was that they were getting offers. Like I'd heard that, right? So, but I didn't know it. So. That means that Veach probably had to play some offers against the team. You get what I'm saying? And he kind of had to ferret out the best one.
And have to assume that this was the best one.
Because Cleveland, we heard out of Cleveland that they tried. So, this is interesting, man. I think you can feel okay with where this team's headed. And one thing we do know, all those people that were talking about getting rid of season tickets, if Mahomes is a quarterback, you might end up regretting that. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that. And I wouldn't listen, I don't care. I'm not a Chiefs fan. But I'm just saying that guy's a really fun quarterback to watch. You know what I mean? I don't know. If he played for the Lions, that might be what it took for me to get Lions season tickets. All right, last thing. What's Mahomes' final stat line for 2018? A good question by Steve Kissel. He says, I think he'll top the 4,000-yard mark. What do you guys think?
That's interesting. I don't assume it, but I think it's reasonable. The thing I'm most interested in is touchdown-interception ratio, I guess, which is probably a silly thing to be hung up on. But I pictured him being a plus, but not a kind of plus like Alex Smith was this year. Yeah, I don't think he's going 26-5, right?
He won't do that.
I'm just looking. It's probably a lazy comparison, but Deshaun Watson, right? Made 6 starts, played in 7 games, basically 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's a lot of numbers across the board. A lot of interceptions, a lot of touchdowns. That's a pace for 40 touchdowns and almost 20 interceptions. You'll take these to start the year. Yeah, that's 6 sacks. I don't know, man. Like I think he can throw. I think he might be able to get more than 26.
That's 284 in his first NFL start. I mean, I don't doubt that's not a shed. I just wonder what the other number's going to be.
It could be higher than 5.
30 and 16, 30 and 20. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I can't let us get off without discussing this. One of the other things that came out last week that I had, Andy Reid called the plays against Denver. How about that? That's really intriguing. That really caught my eye. I was like, okay. I guess I would say 12 interceptions, 26 touchdowns, something like that. But I think it's going to be interesting to see the kind of games Andy calls for Pat. I'm really interested to see because there was so much shotgun in that game. I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
And how about new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, homing lineup to that position?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? You're right. I think that there were a lot of. If you look at the staff, that Andy promoted a lot of young guys, man. I wanted you guys to take that out of the story I wrote on that. Like, please understand, Tommy Brasher, Brad Childress, Gary Gibbs, they were all 60 and older, man. All these guys Andy promoted are like in their 30s. It's going to be a younger, more enthusiastic staff, okay? And I think that's something. Now, you don't have the same knowledge, but, you know, I think that Andy's kind of banking on a younger, more enthusiastic staff. I think he's banking on a little more talent on defense, and I'm thinking he's banking on Mahomes really growing and making some throws that you can't teach. This still might be a bit of a transition year, but if that's the case, they're setting it up for a Super Bowl run in 2019. I can tell you that right now. If that's understood by the owner, the expectation the next year is to make a Super Bowl run. I can tell you guys that. So, closing thoughts. We'll go around quickly before we get off. Sam, you want to kick us off?
I mean, look, like prisoner of the moment. I don't want to be, but I don't think I am. I think that we all expected this move. You know, like this is a very expected move. But I mean, I think it's literally true that the Chiefs and Kansas City sports over the next, maybe decade, just changed tonight. And the Chiefs are certainly, changed what they're capable of, for better or worse. They became a hell of a lot more interesting. I think a lot better as well.
Vahe.
Yeah, and I'd say, just echoing that basically, but I mean, it's a breath of fresh air, and, there's no reason to feel bad for Alex Smith. I hope he has success in his career, but I think, he's going to have an opportunity one way or another and make a lot of money, and this is an exciting turning of a page, one way or another. I mean, and they got better, too, with this trade. I mean, I don't know, just to refer really quickly back to what we were talking about earlier, I mean, we were talking about, would they be able to get a third-round pick for him or maybe a second-round pick? And look what they've got. So they're better. They got more money, and they've moved on to this most anticipated guy that certainly in the 5 years I've been here that's come to town, and probably in a good deal longer than that.
Mm-hmm. Blair?
Well, I'll say I remember the day that the Chiefs signed Alex Smith, and it was an exciting time. People were thrilled about that. Think about what the Chiefs were coming off of and at the time. But so any news like that was interpreted as good news. Well, we bid farewell to Alex Smith, who gave us 5 solid years and helped stabilize the franchise that was, as Sam and both Sam and Vahe have said, was reeling when Alex got here, and Andy and Dorsey. But I think people are even more excited about the prospect of Patrick Mahomes. And Vahe said it well again. The getting Kendall Fuller in addition to another draft pick is quite a coup for the Chiefs. And I think the second night of the draft is going to be a lot of fun in Kansas City in April. They don't have a first-round pick, but now they've got, a second and 2/3? Is that how it breaks down now? At least that right now.
Some people brought up that Kendall Fuller's older brother, Kyle Fuller, is a free agent. And as you guys know, I'm very much in on junior and senior on the back of jerseys. And I love brother combos. I love them. I'm in. Let's go. Bring the Fuller brothers. Let's go. Let's see it. Let's see KY Fuller and KE Fuller. Let's go. Let's do it. Nathaniel, I've talked a lot here, so I'll keep it simple. Nathaniel Thompson said, 15 times yours. That's it. That's where we're at. Alex had a good run here. I hope you guys remember him for all the good he did. You know, appreciate that. But it's okay to look forward. Remember we said after the Titans game, they had to do something to get people on board. Because you can't just treat your fans like the sisters on Shawshank and expect them to keep shelling out money. This is the kind of thing. No, this is the kind of thing that they had to do. I thought Sutton might be a part of that. Andy keeping him shows you he didn't think he was the problem. It was the players and the talent and the cap situation they were in. Don Dorsey was relieved of his duties last summer. So the scapegoat for that's already been handled. So this is where we're at now. They're going with a younger quarterback. They're going to try and add some younger talent on defense. The ball's in Brett Veach's corner. And it's also in Andy Reid's and Patrick Mahomes. So a lot to write about, a lot going on. We thank you guys for watching. Guys, we've been over 300 this entire time. Killer show.
Fantastic.
We will load the podcast. We appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you guys getting together on short notice, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, man. Congrats again, Terez. Hell of a thing.
Hey, thank you guys.
Terez.
No, this was an 18 victory, fellas. For real. Always. And, the ability to get together and commiserate like this was the fun part. You know what I mean? And I can tell you, I wish you guys could see all the likes and hearts we're getting right now. Seriously. I wish you guys could see that. So, hey, thank you guys. I'll be here a whole week in Minneapolis. So if you like seeing, in this room, if you guys like the corporate champion and you want the corporate champ to stay in Kansas City and to keep coming to Super Bowls, click on my stories. I'm still shilling for clicks. I can't help it. I'm the corporate champ. See you guys. Appreciate it.
See you, everybody. Thanks for waiting with us.